Hello. Hello. Oh, I gotta change one little option. How you guys going? Sorry I'm late. Busy morning. Holy. Busy morning. Holy. Never a dull moment in the world. Never a dull moment. What's going on, guys? Good to see you guys. Lol Viet, Faith in Science, my strongest soldier. Literally waiting since 10:30 a.m. Bro, I actually thought, look, we had a bit of a change of plan. Oh, I better go live on YouTube. The first thing they're going to see is me wiping my disgusting nose. Beautiful. Alrighty. Live on YouTube. Don't know how to get the YouTube chat onto my screen right now. There's probably some old little overlay. YouTube chat, if you're in there, hello. Good to see you, YouTube people. Been a hot minute. I do exist. I'm still editing videos. They're coming. Just exit YouTube. So crazy. So crazy. What's good, guys? Bernie Brody, good to see you, King. Hernando, been a fat minute. Hernando, thank you so much for the Prime, you absolute legend. I think about 8 months. Good to see you, King. Good to see you back. How you going, buddy? What's been happening? Wolviet, my uncle, with the 31 months of Prime. Thank you, sir. I haven't seen you for a hot minute in the chat. I mean, we talk. You show me how to bake pizza, how to make pizza, how to bake things, how to make dough, but good to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming down. You got a day off today. What's good, King? Sidemain. Thank you for the 31 months, by the way. Thank you for the Prime. Apples. Good to see you, Apples. It's your boy Charizard. Good to see you again. Italian doesn't know how to make pizza. I do. I literally know how to make pizza. I've been making pizza. I made beautiful focaccia. Rare day off. You'll love to see it. A little pig oink. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming down. Good to see you. Thanks for coming down. Me do the words. We locked in, twin. Tried to anyway. It's been a busy morning. A lot happened. I had a change of plans. So originally was going to do the Black Bolt White Flare binder stream. We've been trying to build that binder up over the last couple of weeks, just putting all my cards together finally, because it's something that's just been long overdue. With so many raw cards just sitting in boxes, deck boxes, piles, needing to find a home. So that was the original plan this morning, but I woke up and some stuff's been brewing in Japan with the card stores and like a regulatory body potentially trying to come in and, I don't want to say influence government, but plead their case to the Diet in Japan and try to introduce some kind of regulation or legislation to protect the Pokemon card or trading card in general community and culture and world and little microism that has formed over the last, I guess, 5 years. Not so much formed, but maybe grown and turned into a bit of a beast is probably the best way to put it. The best way to put it is to use a lot of words and make a big, loud sentence. I gotcha. Thanks for coming down. Blank Turk, hello. Sidemain, Faded Angel, if I didn't say hello. Ziddy10, good to see you. Little Pig Oink, I think I said hello, but I'll say it again. Desamaya, Kygus, as always. Who we got? Sakatua, good to see you. Evening or morning. Found a Salamence SIR for 25 today. Beautiful card. Absolutely beautiful card. One of the most underrated from Journey Together. It's a banger. New York pizza better than Italy pizza. That is just an insane thing to say. That's an insane thing to say. In short, I'm seeing the YouTube chat. I do have it here, but it's just not going to pop on the screen, so I'm really sorry about that. I'm seeing the hipster who could. I'm seeing Brotherman Blade. I'm seeing Aiden DeVito. I'm seeing Aiden DeVito in Twitch chat as well. I'm seeing Crystal. Hello, Crystal. I'm seeing Irony Elegy. I'm seeing Chappie's Collectibles. I feel like I've heard that name before. Let's face it, gambling is the thing keeping a majority of the card shops alive in Japan. Yeah, but it's a big, I don't know, it's not as simple as that. Hello, Gus, good to see ya. The hipster who could. I think it's not as simple as that. Like, it's not as simple as, like, gambling and Oripa is keeping the Japanese Pokemon card sphere and space alive in Japan. I mean, we spoke about this a little bit in the last stream when I was talking about the whole Oyama's Collectible and Machamp's, their like masterclass on vending, right? When I was talking about how there are so many new vendors that have popped up and how for those businesses and their livelihoods to continue and thrive, right? They need the Pokemon card space to exist in the way that it does now. It needs to be a hype market. There needs to be FOMO. There needs to be this sense of urgency and constant excitement from set to set. Because if that's not there, if it doesn't exist, then those new vendors and those new businesses will collapse. That's not anybody's fault but those new businesses and new vendors though. So there's really no, like, I have no sympathy for it, right? But it's like a chicken or egg thing. It's like two snakes trying to eat each other. Like, yeah, the gambling is propping up the card shops, but it's only really propping up the card shops that have, like, this is speculation, but, or my opinion, right? But it's only really propping up the card shops that have popped up in the last few years that are relying on that to survive. So if the gambling went away, it's actually not that big of an issue. If the card shop, because then those new card shops that popped up that literally only exist there, right? Because they're trying to capitalize on the hype, if they disappear overnight, no one really cares, except for those stores and those store owners and the people affected by that. But that's their own problem. You go into small business on your own, you try to risk it all. You make your bed, you sleep in it. You got to, like, deal with the consequences. It's not meant to be easy. Not everybody will make it, but it is easier in a bull market or a hype market. So it's multifaceted. I just saw YouTube chat just like spam and appear on the screen. So I guess there's going to be multi-chat on the screens here, but I will say just to start, and I'm not going to bring it up again. If you're watching here at YouTube, just come and watch at Twitch, because I am primarily streaming at Twitch. I have been for the last month since coming back to streaming. YouTube thing's not going to be, this is not going to be all the time here at YouTube. It might be once in a blue moon when we have a little special stream or something big happens. So, have I eaten lunch yet? I did. I actually had lunch before the stream. So, was meant to do the black ball white flare binder, woke up, saw a whole bunch of news. We're going to get into it because I feel like we got a good little crew here and I don't want to keep you guys waiting any longer because that would just be rude. So, hello, Mitchie. Good to see you. By the way, if you feel like any levels are too loud, I think they're pretty good. And I'm listening to the music too. I like the music. It's my music. I picked it. You just give me a heads up. By the way, I didn't say hello, Henry. Good to see you. Gengar, hello from Dallas, Texas. That's where you're always at, Dallas, Texas. Ventus Nova, good to see you. They will be coming for all your favorite illustrated cards next. Heed my words. Not even Ito's crocheted reverse hollow Whalema is safe. You guys are so obsessed with that card. It is a nice card. I am seeing a lot of Asuka Ito like hype on social media at the moment. How do I feel about Whatnot? I don't like it. Not a fan. Having not so much dipped my toes, but been around that kind of service. Not that service particular, but services like that. Yeah, like I don't love that landscape. I feel like it's definitely contributing to a lot of the issues that we have at the moment with Pokemon card collecting. Alrighty. I think we're good to do this. I think I can press these buttons and I will not fear for my life. Am I going to dox myself? No, I think I'm good to go. All right. So, that's the wrong button. That's the right button. This is the right button. All righty. Man, I need points refund. ZD, channel points have no currency here. They're just a thing. 4,000 wasted? What did he do? I didn't even see it. God damn. Oh, yeah, those buttons don't work anymore. I'll have to fix them up. All right, I don't know if you guys saw this morning, but this Twitter account, Unusual Whales, that honestly I've never seen before, put up a tweet and said Japan is considering regulating the market for Pokemon cards per Bloomberg. So that was something interesting to wake up to and see. Unusual Whales is I'm showing my ass here, right? I'm Boomer. It's a stock options crypto market news tools account. Polymarket partner, Discord, more. So I guess if you're into like day trading and all that kind of stuff, crypto, I don't know. What's happening with Benji, Megan, and Charlie? I don't know. I don't know who any of those people are. I don't know what's happening. If you're into like crypto, day trading, I don't know, all this stuff, options market, stocks, isn't Polymarket's where you bid on like, not where you bid, where you bet on like, will Ronaldo cry at the World Cup or not? Isn't it? I'm pretty sure that's Polymarket. and then they're like identifying whether it was a tier or not. You know what I'm saying? They monitor all markets. So Unusual Whales posting that about Pokemon cards is actually low-key kind of crazy. 1 million views on that. Japan is considering regulating the market for Pokemon cards per Bloomberg. So like, it was like maximum vague posting. So I wake up and I have a look. I saw Peak Hobby. I despise this account. This is just one of those like bot, just whatever. I hate these stupid accounts on Twitter. Peak Hobby's one of them. They got banned and I was like, thank goodness. And then they got unbanned. I'm like, you can never chop these. You can never keep them down. But whatever. I see. I've searched Bloomberg Japan here, right? But you go to Bloomberg and it says the home of Pokemon is considering regulating the booming trading card market as soaring valuations fuel counterfeiting and money laundering. See why the rise of $1 million Pokemon card deals is proving problematic for Japan. You click that, and I think this is going to tell me to give them money. So I didn't give them money. Or is it going to load? Oh my God, it loaded. Nope, it loaded for a second and then they said, give me money. Well, it doesn't matter because if you go to Dexerto, they also made a post about this, right? Japan is launching a government team to fight scalpers and fake cards in popular card games. They're talking about the same thing, but they're two different things because Unusual Whales post, if we go back to it, Unusual Whales post was about regulating the market. Bloomberg's was about regulating the booming trading card market. And this one from Bull Theory, a lot of them reporting just this vague posting, like they're going to regulate it. They're looking at controlling it, right? But that was really it. If you go to Dexerto's article, right? Dexerto's article references Kyoto News, right? I'm starting from the top here, right? We're going to get into a lot. There's a lot to go through, but I'm starting from the top, okay? Dexerto's article references Kyoto News, and in that article, they say lawmakers from Japan's Liberal Democratic Party, the LDP, are preparing to launch a parliamentary group focused on the country's rapidly growing trading card industry. The group will hold its first meeting on July 23, where lawmakers will hear from industry organizations and Japan's Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry about the biggest issues facing collectors, stores, and card companies. Japanese government begins anti-scalping crackdown. The article continues and it kind of just talks about the popularity of Pokemon cards and then talks about some instances where people stole 95,000 worth of cards and some other stuff that happened in South Korea, but it's not really relevant to the article. It's kind of just like filler. So they didn't really go too deeply into it. From what I understand, like from what I can imagine, Bloomberg's article is probably the same thing. It's just a whole lot of vague posting. So I wanted to dig a little bit deeper. If you go on Twitter, you're going to keep probably seeing this. It's going to keep popping up. Japan is going to regulate cards. Japan is potentially regulating graded cards. You know, a whole bunch of stuff about Japan regulating cards and Japan stopping scalpers. But what the hell does that actually mean? What are they actually doing? You know, even if I click here, Japan lawmakers form group to fight trading card scalping and fakes. This same, you know, Grok, is this real? Grok, is this true? Same little blurb. It's the same, just vague posting, right? So, without being the vague posting king, what does this actually mean? Okay, well, I went digging, right? And I wanted to find what the source of this information was, right? I went to Kyoto News. Kyoto News didn't actually pop up with, you did it again. Didn't actually pop up. Didn't actually pop up with the article, but I did manage to find it on LiveDoor, and it was also posted. I mean, it's sourced here from Kyoto News. Yahoo Japan News, you'll often see, if you read Japanese news or you try to keep up to date, they kind of just like collate a whole bunch of news and articles that come from different newspapers, basically, or different news sources like Asahi Shimbun or Yahoo themselves or Kyodo or NHK, right? And so this is the same article, right? I've got a whole bunch of tabs open, but these two are the same articles, right? They both come from Kyodo, right? So I do want to keep up a little bit with YouTube chat. Am I cooked going to Japan on 30th drop? Probably. Yo, nice, you're streaming on YouTube. Just to say hello. Metro Boomin, he lives. I do exist still. It's true. Okay. So I have read through these articles I think just in the effort of sharing the information with you guys, it makes more sense to just hit translate. I could just translate it for you, but that's just going to be kind of clunky. And I've read it in Japanese, and then I've read the translation. I'm like, yeah, they're basically saying the same thing. So it's low-key chill. So translating this article to English, this is the source of the information where a lot of these news accounts are like Bloomberg, Dexerto probably getting the information from. So a group of LDP lawmakers have decided to establish a parliamentary league group to promote the expanding trading card market. So key verbiage there is lawmakers. LDP lawmakers have decided to establish a parliamentary group, right? It's not actual lawmakers themselves. They haven't actually introduced any laws or regulations or legislation. They've just at this point presented their concerns to the Diet in Japan, right? They're presenting it at this point. It's all very early. This happened in like the last 2 or 3 days, right? Their aim is to establish rules in response to the emergence of problems such as the distribution of counterfeit goods and bulk purchases for resale purposes. The representative of the group is former Election Strategy Committee Chairman Seiji Kihara. The inaugural meeting will be held on the 23rd, where they will hear about the current situation and challenges from industry associations, which is a very important thing. Those industry associations are actually really interesting. And there's a little bit that's happened there that's made this whole situation kind of murky, right? And the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. This was revealed by sources on the 21st. So the rest of the article is kind of just fluff, the same way as the Dexerto article was as well, and those little snippets that we saw from Bloomberg. The parliamentary group will move forward with discussions to improve the trading environment, which has previously been left to individual stores and businesses. They aim to position it as part of the content industry, ensuring transparency and supporting overseas expansion. Hello, Inza. Good to see you. We're just going through some stuff that's happened in Japan. All right. So a lot of words. Still low-key, like a lot of vague posting. Excuse me. Bernie Brody, I read it had something to do with money laundering. It's got a lot to do with a lot of things. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't like, I'm still kind of learning it as I go. Sorry, excuse me. I caught up on the situation to a point where I was like, all right, I could probably go live and we can start looking at this stuff together and having a chat about it. But there's still a whole bunch I wanted to read about. By the time I finished reading everything, it would probably be like 3 or 4 p.m. here in Australia. And I was like, okay, I don't want to stream tomorrow. So we're just going to jump into it. So what is this group? Well, if we go over to Twitter, right, we will find the group. So the group that has been established is the Japan Trading Card Association. They're calling themselves the JTCA. Passing on the official trading card culture to the next generation, creating a safe and secure market, promoting culture, regional collaboration, education and player development, international outreach. Will this affect my PSA 10 slab? No. I think your PSA 10 slab is going to be fine. Alrighty, so they're obviously all their tweets are in Japanese, right? Because they are a Japanese-based association / group. Their first few tweets, just going through, is kind of just them talking about what their goals are and what they want to do in the space, right? So I'm just going to hit translate and everything for you guys. Like I said, I've read through all this and it's like low-key kind of chill. The Japan Trading Card Association has opened its official account. We are committed to the healthy development of trading card culture through creating a safe and secure market, promoting culture, collaborating with local communities, and nurturing the next generation. We will be sharing information about the association's activities and trading card culture in the future, so please follow us. Will this affect Logan Paul's collection? Well, look, I honestly, at this stage, I don't know what it's going to affect, right? Because it's hard to say what it's going to affect or not it's hard to say what it will affect without fully talking about and explaining what it is they're exactly trying to do. And also who the people are behind the JTCA, right? Because if these are just like random people, right? Let's just say it's me and, 5 guys that I know that like Pokemon cards. And we're like, guys, we're taking a stand. We need to regulate Pokemon cards. We can't have, I'm going to get into this, right? We can't have rip and shippers getting stock backdoored from whoever and getting cards to open for sets 3 months early, right? It's got to stop. Or, you know, we've got to stop Target and Walmart getting botted. We've got to stop the Pokemon Center getting botted, right? Guys, Coach was right. Like, so if we just get like 5 guys like that off the street out of nowhere to say, guys, we got to make a change. We can be the change we want to see in the world. And then we somehow get in front of the Diet and Parliament in Japan and say like, or like in our relevant countries like Australia, and we're like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to fix Pokemon cards forever. Not a whole lot of swing. You know, we're just 5 guys with a dream. But if the group that gets together to try and influence how Pokemon cards are treated in a country actually come from different businesses or corners of the space where they actually are already quite established and they have a lot of capital and they already have a lot of influence, then potentially, right, if they know the right people and they can get in front of the right people, right, and pitch their pitch strong enough to convince the government to actually legislate some of these changes, then they potentially will be able to impact the market to some degree. And that is the big fear that I'm seeing from a lot of Japanese Pokemon card collectors on Twitter, on YouTube, is that this group doesn't actually have Pokemon card collectors and players' best interests in mind. They have most likely their best interests in mind. And as we dive deeper into who the JTCA potentially are and who they are trying to influence or who is backing them, right, and where they're getting influence and direction from, you're going to see why it's potentially a problem. So to answer the question of whether this will impact Logan Paul's collection or not, well, if something like this happens, right, and they do manage to get in front of government and legislate in their favor and not to the favor of Pokemon card collectors and players in Japan, then what we might find inadvertently is interest in Pokemon cards might collapse, or it might just be a thing where all the regular people, or like, you know, the established collectors or regular people that are just trying to get into Pokemon. So regular people that are just trying to get into Pokemon, or established collectors that have been here for a long period, basically people that aren't just into the whole buy, grade, flip kind of thing, they might get turned off and be like, yeah, you know what? Pokemon cards aren't what they used to be anymore. I'm not really interested anymore. And if that happens all at once, where like 50% of the card collecting space just decides to dip and check out, sell their collection and move on to some other hobby, yeah, you may see a sell-off, which causes a bubble, well, which causes the bubble to pop, right? So it's a really, really long-winded way of, it's a question that needs like a lot of context to answer, Ventus Nova, but that's like my best attempt at it. Because it's not as simple as just me saying like, yeah, you know what? It might, or like, yeah, it won't, and then moving on. That was why I like wanted to jump into this with some actual substance and kind of like, I know you were kind of memeing, but like, it's good that you asked it because it lets me explain the situation and kind of give you an idea of what's happening here. I still don't understand what they can actually do. Okay, so we'll keep diving further, right? So JTCA, they have a few tweets here. The account popped up on the 22nd or 21st of July, and they basically were like, you know, thank you for all the follows. You were going to follow everyone back, but we didn't. I've got auto translate on. So they're, like I said, they're tweeting here in Japanese, but I've just translated it to English for you guys. Okay. So first main important tweet that they posted here. To all card shops and trading card relating companies nationwide, we will be setting up an inquiry form and seeking companies willing to participate in collaboration and information sharing to promote the development of the entire industry. We hope to build a healthy and sustainable market together and create a brighter future. Your cooperation would be greatly appreciated. Hello, Benko. Good to see you. So all their tweets have like this same kind of vibe to it. Like, we hope to build a strong environment for Pokemon card trading. We want to protect Pokemon card collectors. We want to, you know, make sure that the next generation can enjoy Pokemon cards. They tweet like that in all of them, right? So they said that they've opened up inquiries for companies willing to participate in collaboration and information sharing, basically potentially trying to get money, like you're saying, Soccer there, or get more industry, not so much influence, but maybe they want to like hear more from card stores, maybe hear their concerns and see how maybe the JTCA can assist them, right? It is lobbying, right? Best explanation to say they're a lobby group. Yeah. I've been telling people for a while, a lot of crypto bros are here because crypto is currently flatlined. They will liquidate everything the moment Bitcoin goes back up and the hobby will heal. It's not a bad theory. It's something that a lot of people have been saying for a very long time. It's not a bad theory. What are people over on YouTube saying? United Pokemon Alliance. I don't see how they can track cards in any way. I don't know how they're going to be able to track cards. I don't think that's what they're trying to do. Thank you for the follow, Baped UB. So a lot of they put this out, and then I didn't see this, right? But on their website, right, if we go to it, it's not this one, it's not this one, it is, that's not there. Let's go find their website. It'll be back. This is another tweet. We're getting to this, right? Here. So going to their website, they basically nuded it, right? Because if we go to the top here, oh, you guys can't see it. Sankagyo, right? If we go to the top and we click that to see you can see it here, right? Their list of Sankagyo, which is just people or companies or groups that are cooperating with them, right? And participating with them. It's changed to coming soon, right? But before today and yesterday, so when the site initially went up, there actually was a list of participating companies and groups listed on the website, and all of them, I guess, yeah, the word to use is problematic. All of them were low-key problematic from the perspective of Japanese Pokemon card collectors, right? Now, some of them we were talking about before, but if you have been around the channel for a long time, yeah, Kaigus basically hit the nail on the head. One of them was Magi, right? Card Rush weren't on the list, but one of them was Magi. And a lot of Japanese Pokemon card collectors will know that Magi had a bit of an influence, I guess. I'm trying to pull up their Twitter. Magi TCG. Is this the English one? Oh, yeah, they have like a bajillion different stores, so. Yeah, so Magi is this card store, which if you've been to Japan, you probably would have seen them or visited them. They do have a store in Nipponbashi. They've got a store in Akihabara as well. They have a few, actually. Some have closed. They used to have more. Some of them are closed. New ones open up. They're kind of weird when it comes to that. The Nipponbashi one was there the last time I was there, which was December last year. But basically, Magi were heavily involved with influencing the Pokemon card market during 2022 to 2023, that whole hype period where they were offering really high buyback prices, and their buyback prices would go viral on Twitter, and people were saying this is ridiculous, who's actually buying it for this? But by doing so, they were like inadvertently or directly raising the market price or market floor price for Pokemon cards in Japan. So they were basically pumping it. They're saying like, we're going to buy the Miriam SAR, if you guys remember from all the way back at the start of SV. We're going to buy it for like 100,000 yen. And everyone was like, what the hell? But then that kind of like set the floor. It's like, well, Magi's buying it for 100,000 yen, so you can't sell it for anything less because they're actively buying it. But whether those buys are actually happening or not is a whole different story. So Magi have a bit of a checkered history on social media amongst Japanese Pokemon card collectors. It goes a lot deeper than that, but that's like the surface level kind of take with it, right? Especially any store in Japan that does Oripa and now has moved their Oripa to basically digital Oripa, where you're still doing Oripa, but you can do it on your phone or you can do it on the website. Oripa has a really negative sentiment in Japan amongst collectors. There are a lot of people who love Oripa, and I guess I should clarify or explain to you guys that don't know what Oripa is. Oripa is just Japanese mystery packs. So I'm sure you guys have seen the plethora of different mystery pack apps and stuff on Instagram, Twitter, whatever, right? It's not just like We're not talking like mystery bags, like Pokerev mystery bags and stuff like that. We're talking about the digital ones. Like, what's the one? Yeah, what's the one that everybody knows? They call them GameStop Power Packs. They're basically GameStop Power Packs are basically Audit Bar. Audit Bar has been around since fucking forever, right? But that's what Audit Bar is, right? So Japanese Pokemon card collectors really dislike Audit Bar. Most of them. But there are a lot of people that are just like absolute. It's the same as it is overseas. We don't like mystery packs here. We don't like GameStop Power Packs. We think they're kind of like they just promote basically child gambling. They promote gambling. Gambling is a really big problem. We don't like it. But there are a ton of people that love gambling, so there are people that like them too. Right. So where were we? We were talking about the list of participating companies, of participating groups over on JTCA. There's so many. This one here, right? Okay. First time chatter. This is a tough ask, but I'm just getting started in collecting Pokemon TCG, and I saw a vid from you on how to collect when everything is crazy, but it's a membership exclusive. I know you need to eat. Yo, what up? But do you think one day you would make it public? I would love to see the vid. You're the only guy I follow on TCG because you genuinely enjoy the cards and hobby itself, and not like the most influencer who their focus is money. I appreciate that. Some very kind words. I spoke to channel members about doing that on YouTube, and I don't hate the idea. The issue is that video is really booty. Like, it's not like the usual standard of quality on my YouTube channel. So like, it's me just talking in a PowerPoint presentation format for like 40 minutes. I can just make it public. I was thinking of redoing it, but that's time consuming, and then it's just like, fuck. I guess I can just flick it to public. Whatever. I can just flick it to public. Yeah, I'll flick it to public. Maybe I'll do that tonight. What the hell? Why the hell not? I've starved the YouTube audience for way too long. I'll just make it public. Hello, Blendy. Good to see you. So JTCA removed their group, their participating business groups, right? This is jumping ahead, which triggered a very interesting response from Japanese users on Twitter. And you will see they actually got community noted from Japanese Twitter. So this is really funny. I'm going to hit show translation for you guys. Oh, Inza, you can't be saying that. It's an old video. How about this? I'll make a new channel members video, and then you channel members guys will be like, yes, we're the special chosen ones again. It is technically, it's JLUV slop. I don't like uploading slop. So, all right. So to all of you, thank you very much for your many valuable opinions. Our association will continue to engage in activities with the aim of promoting trading card culture and ensuring the healthy development of the industry as a whole. Trading cards are a culture, a community. See, this is like a lot of fluff words, right? A community that connects people and content that Japan can proudly present to the world. I haven't actually spoken about that, and I should, right? We will pass on that culture to players, collectors, and future generations who will encounter trading cards, ensuring it can be enjoyed safely and with peace of mind. Yes, even in Japan, they use the word community for the community, right? That's the biggest dog whistle word. It doesn't matter whether you're English, doesn't matter whether you're black, white. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, right? Because I don't want to start saying other races and then you guys say I'm racist. Doesn't matter where you come from, where you were born, what your nationality, what your race is, because I don't want to say the race is wrong. You remember one time when, because isn't there technically only like 3 or 4 races, right? You're either white, you're either Caucasian. I'm not getting into this. I'm sorry. Why not while we're live on YouTube? I'm just leaving it there. Okay, I'm just stopping it there. Okay. No. I'm just fucking stopping that shit before we go any further. No. That's it. I'm done. Okay. I'm fucking moving on, bro. I'm not racist, bro. I just fucking started talking myself down a little hole that I couldn't climb back up from, okay? Okay. All right. No, okay, we're good. Okay. So, okay. All right. And content that Japan can proudly present to the world. So a lot of this has kind of stemmed from, because I read another article, right? I'm jumping ahead, right? There's another article we're going to jump into, right? I can't remember if I read it or if I imagined it. I definitely read it, right? Where they kind of spoke about how, and I'm not like ultra versed in crypto, right? But they kind of spoke about how cryptocurrency and Bitcoin low-key originated in Japan, and then Japan failed to like foster it and let it grow. Instead regulating, I'm not, don't quote me on this, right? And didn't like really get on top of it. When they had a really good opportunity to make Japan the home of cryptocurrency, right? And then Japan would then be able to use whatever funds they could gather from not so much regulating it, but like letting it foster and grow in their country, right? Rather than them doing that, they kind of like fumbled the bag, and then cryptocurrency, the home of it, at least as far as I'm aware, is basically the US now, right? And so because they kind of wanted to, they're saying, I'm seeing people say that Japan's trying to avoid a situation where they fumble the bag on trading cards again, even though I think the cat's kind of like out of the bag with trading cards, and it is its own thing now. It's almost like this is an effort by them to kind of get a hold of it before it grows even further out of control. Because it is, the situation is quite out of control in Japan with the potential, you know, there's talks of money laundering. You've got the influence from China and Vietnam, whatever's going on there, right? And there's a lot of weird shit going on there. There's a lot of negative sentiment towards Vietnamese and Chinese people because of what's going on there, that coming to Japan, people coming from those countries to basically abuse and capitalize on Japanese Pokemon cards, right? So they're trying to like get a hold of it, right, and stop it, and try to make some money off of that, so that it's not just these random groups from all over the world or even in Japan capitalizing on it, right? So like what the JTCA are low-key presenting isn't all that bad, but it's kind of a bit of a facade, because as you dive deeper onto who they are, it gets a little bit more sus. So this is the tweet where they said they removed the associating companies, right, that are backing them or that they're working with, right? Due to the timing of this announcement coinciding with the founding general meeting of the Parliamentary League, this is going to sound really long in the tooth because it's translating from Japanese to English, which tends to happen. Our association's website is still partially incomplete. That's not true, because they removed it, right? It was there, but then they took it out. We're currently working with many companies. Excuse me. We are currently working with many companies and organizations and are progressively updating the content. Event information and the list of participating companies are also currently being finalized. So please be patient while we work to make them available. We will strive to make the website more comprehensive and user-friendly for everyone. Thank you for your continued understanding and cooperation. So when they put this tweet up, a whole bunch of Japanese Twitter users were like, hold up. You guys are saying you're for the community. This is basically the best way to put it, right? You guys are saying you're for the community, but the groups that you're working with are not for the community. This is like if I said, I am for the community, and then you all of a sudden saw me working with, I don't know, I'm doing like rip and ships on whatnot, okay? That's the basic equivalent. Saying like, I'm for the community, I love the community, and then the next thing you see, I do a collab with something I don't like, which is like whatnot, and I'm doing rip and ships, okay? And I'm just all of a sudden a rip and shipper. You would still, there'd still be people that would be like, I still enjoy JLUV's content, so I'm gonna watch it, but you couldn't trust me as far as you could throw me basically after that. It kind of all goes out the window. Or if I started selling milky bags, right? Now, I don't want to turn this into like, yeah, I mean, like, you guys know the drill, right? I don't want to turn this into like this creator's sellout, that creator's sellout, but I probably should use a better example, because now people are saying basically twice baked Jake. But you guys know the drill. When you see that, you're like, cool, man, another sellout. It's the same kind of thing. So this Twitter user was just like, are you sure the participating companies are okay? They're doing things like buying and selling on resale boxes and causing scandals. And so, you know, they posted a couple of examples, which I actually didn't know, right? Where Cardon was selling One Piece booster boxes above retail. But like a lot of LGSs kind of do this now. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. They can say, like, it's this weird blurred line, right? Because Cardon is like a very well-respected card store in Japan, right? That's like pretty player focused. But in the same breath, they're selling very, very high demand booster boxes of Japanese One Piece sets for above market. Sure, they're doing a whole lot as well in store to promote and grow with players, right? Maybe in terms of having like good single prices, or they run tournaments and stuff, which you'll see a lot of LGSs do in the West as well, in the US, Australia, Europe, right? But while they're doing that, they're also taking advantage of the hype market and selling booster boxes at market price. So it's this really gray line where they're doing one good thing, but then they're doing this other thing that's really shitty, you know? Shields and Lapis are all that's left. Yes, that's true. I don't know what that means. You mean, I don't know what that means, Robert. Vendors saying they're for the community, but charging $2,500 a course. Yeah, same kind of thing. Do you own any One Piece cards at all? I do have some One Piece cards. Yeah, I got a lot of Japanese promos. They should just increase the supply, but they don't want to crash it. I don't think it's as simple as that. There's a lot going on in Japan. Anyway, I'm waiting for this ad break to end before we keep going, because there's an ad break here at Twitch. They're automatic, so I'm not some fucking money-hungry monster trying to get money from ads. I can't do anything about it. You're probably going to get 6 minutes, an hour of ads on Twitch. I could make it worse. I could make it 20. I'm just waiting for the ad to end. Zeal. I don't know why Zeal's on YouTube. It should be at Twitch. Kind of related, but in Australia, LGSs just got rid of all online stores off their network, only buying TCG or LPGs. Uncle Alton. Whenever the Pokemon company puts out an announcement, is just PR. If they really wanted to turn things around, they would. So based. Especially TPCI. I'm so with you on that, Uncle Alton. Preach it. There's just the human race, my friend. All these distinctions are an illusion meant to divide us. Dude, he's spitting. Florida man is spitting. Wait, did the Pokemon card market jump higher than it already did past few years or something? In Japan, I mean. It's up and down. Sorry, the demon came out of me. The lizard man. It's up and down. It was trending down the last month, but now it's trending back up. But it's still beneath its peak in 2024. In terms of market value, in terms of cumulative market value. I like how MV Pokey was just like, bro, stop. Just shut your mouth, bro. Increasing supply won't do anything. There's too many channels just absorbing all supply that it won't even matter. Yeah, it basically gets zapped up in like 2 seconds. I don't like that song. I'm going to get rid of it. All right, guys. Twitch, are we out of ads? Twitch people, are we out of ad purgatory? There's a really good way to get out of ads. Give me $5 a month. Twitch turns the ads off. Zeal, I'm on Twitch now. You happy? Yes, bro. You're talking in a room of 10 people. No worries, little bro. Hello, Noxious. Good to see you. What's the next con TCG style event you're going to? I don't know. I'm waiting for Blendy to edit the latest con TCG event that I went to, which was 13 months ago. Yes, Blendy, I'm spiking your cortisol levels. Pussio, my little pickle. Thank you for the follow, the OG Sharko. Welcome to the stream. Hamburgini Mercy. Dude, that's like Hamburgini Mercy. I like it. Thank you for the prime. There you go. Free. No skin off your back. He's primed me. Thank you, King. I'm the prime for the month. You're a legend. Thank you for your support. Damn, called out. Let's go. You still have an invite to come to France for the next con. I need. Will you pay for me to fly to France? Just kidding. Unless. Yeah, I'm e-begging. Alrighty. So, okay. I think we're out of ad purgatory. Pussio. Oh, Bernie Brody. Thank you for the 2 months in a row. You legend. These nuts. Thank you, King. Thank you so much for your support. Nick Red Leader 77. You a Luka Doncic fan? Good morning from Italy, King. Good to see you, man. Bernie, thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the prime. You're a legend. You're a boss. Alrighty, so if we go and have a look, I guess, I don't know why the community note was on that other tweet, was on this tweet and not the other tweet. But this community note is really interesting, right? It's really funny. So we're going to translate it for you guys. So it is important to note that the list of participating companies that was available was deleted around 1 a.m. on July 23rd. A spreadsheet compiled by volunteers listing the participating companies can be found here, which is this spreadsheet here, right? Which is really funny. Someone's actually gone and is like, cool. We are keeping the receipts and we are tracking the stores that were involved in this before it gets wiped off of the internet. It's really funny, right? A tweet pointing out delicious. A tweet pointing out the deletion can be found here. So if we open this up, Uma Pong says, Nanka, somehow the list of participating companies that I could see just a few hours ago seems to have completely disappeared, but it might just be a glitch on my end. So could everyone take a look and see? And so there's some screenshots here. What's this? Bun Happy. I've never heard of these. Roru Happy. Gun Happy. I've honestly never Gundam. Okay, that's Gundam. That's Disney. Oh, that's Lorcana. That's Bandai Card Games. One Happy. I've never heard of this Happy chain, right? I've never heard of, is it Happy Star? I've actually never heard of this chain, right? That's One Piece Happy, right? I've never heard of them before. If you've heard of them, let me know. Happy, happy, happy. Dun, 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 dun. Happy, 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 happy. It's a Mercard store owner subsidiary. Okay, there you go. There's a lot of subsidiary stuff happening here because there's a lot of this is owned by that and this guy's involved with this company. This is a list of the stores that were cooperating and participating with the JTCA. It was on their website, but then it got removed randomly. Or not randomly, it got removed at about 1 a.m. on July 23rd. Okay, it is important to note that the manufacturers such as Bushiroad are not included, and companies used for distribution such as Macari are also not on the list. It has also been pointed out that information about the representatives has been deleted. Oh, that's why I didn't see it on the website, but I did see it in Kuzomochi's video. Okay, that's crazy. Okay. In addition, it is important to note that this is the Japan Trading Card Association, not the Trading Card Game Association. So the people that community noted this, right? Wait, Tomo Happy is I didn't know Tomo Happy opened up a card store. What the fuck? You stopped watching this guy on YouTube for like a year or two, and then all of a sudden he opens up all these card stores. I did not know that. I didn't know that. Thank you, ZD. All right, ZD, can you help me with this one then? Because the community note specifically mentioned Bushiroad is really interesting. There's an ex-employee that used to work for Bushiroad that left around about 2018 or 2017, I think. I can't remember. I can't remember his name. He got into a lawsuit. It was like a lawsuit involved, or like there was like I think Bushiroad tried to sue him or something. And then he's creating his own card game. I can't remember his name, but he's really he's prolific on Japanese Twitter. A few months ago, I don't know if you guys saw, there was a tweet about TPCI or the Pokemon Company Japan working to fix the whole issue with distribution in Japan, and how they'd kind of worked out that there were some stores that were receiving distribution that were directly sending that product and those stock and those cases overseas, and they weren't actually hitting the card stores. The Pokemon Company Japan worked that out and then punished those stores by cutting them off from distribution. The person who spoke about that in depth was this ex-Bushiroad employee, and I just cannot remember his name or his account. If you've got it, let me know. But basically, them community noting this and specifically mention that Bushiroad's not included and Macari are not included is really sus, is because those, like, if this is the Japan Trading Card Association that's trying to represent all of Japan, you would think that it would involve or have like close ties to or work closely with the actual manufacturers of the games and the cards themselves, and not just these random card stores. Or not, well, they're not so random, which we're going to find out, right? Because some of the card stores here Adore Marin. I don't know who that is. I feel like I will know it if I see it. There's Magi, Toreka Lounge. So if you guys have been to Akihabara and you know the store Trading Card Lounge, that's Toreka Lounge, which is like kind of sus. So have any of you guys been to Trading Card Lounge in Akihabara? Quick show of hands. Faded Angel, I've been. Franco, yeah. What was your vibe when you went to Trading Card Lounge? Your average player over on YouTube says yes. Proudly? I don't know. Proudly? Akihabara is just a scam? It isn't, it isn't. It's too formal. Nick Red Leader, I've been there. Do you guys want to see what it looks like inside? I'll see if I can show you. I wonder if my computer will explode if I do this. 2025-05-04. Valuable Card Tokyo is a tourist scam shop, way overpriced. Sharko, very astute of you to notice that, because they are on the list as well. And one of the people involved with Valuable Card shop in Akihabara and another store is involved with a bunch of other really funny groups too. It's all quite hilarious the further and further you dive into it. I don't know if I can do this. All right, guys, we're going into the depths here. We're going into some serious footage here. Actually, I think I remember the day I went. Phew. Hello, Segrados. Good to see you. That's PDG. Here we go. We found it. I have a good memory. This is from a yet to be completed video. Who knows when this video is going to be completed. But if I hit play, I can give you guys a little bit of a... I don't know if this is going to crash my computer, but you guys can see the kind of stuff that's in Valuable Card Tokyo. So this is Valuable Card Tokyo. It doesn't look like this now. This is what it used to look like. It probably looks very different now. I mean, it's the same store, but it's probably got a bit of a different layout. And the cards are probably nowhere near as bountiful as they were from this recording, because this was from May in 2025. My computer is going into overdrive right now. Norway Pokemon, good to see you. It's been a long, long time. So you can see this store here, right, has so much stuff, like a lot. They had a lot of vintage, like old back vintage. They didn't have so much E-Series vintage, but you can obviously see here, they have like a bucket load of vintage. Is it the Vanguard producer that got fired by Bushiroad in 2019? I'm pretty sure it is, yeah. Is this lagging on the stream for you guys? Because my video card is just fucking, sounds like it's about to take off. I found a Trainer Mag set for cheap there randomly. What year was that? Yeah, I'm pushing the computer to the limits. I've got a decent chunk of RAM and there's a nice video card in there, so it's probably okay. But this is all old back stuff. I don't think there'd be any of this stuff left now. Like, just no chance at all. There's no way any of this old back stuff is there. If you're wondering why like an electrode is 9,800 yen. Not old back, sorry. I meant to say no rarity. This is all no rarity. I just got a RAM ad pop up on stream. That's hilarious. Yeah, if you're wondering why all these like are ridiculous, I don't think these are no, these are no rarity too. Yeah, if you're wondering why like a Nidoking is like $1 bajillion, they're all no rarity. So it's crazy. It's crazy to see one store have so much no rarity, right? Hang on a second, I gotta close the Discord. My buddy's messaging me about his deadlock lobbies. Who knows what he's gonna say? He's probably gonna say something crazy. All right, so do you guys think it's kind of weird to have one store, to see like one store just have so much stock? Like, have you guys ever considered like why, like how can one store, right? Like how can one store just have this much? Like, think about it. If, let's just say like these Raichus, for example, right? 200,000 yen and there's like 5 of them there, right? Between 98,000, you know, between 10,000 and 300,000 yen, right? There's 5. In Australian dollars, that's probably like 8,000 Australian dollars. In US dollars, that's probably like 6,000 USD. So just in this image alone, right? You're looking at 6,000 USD worth of cards, all right? So then zoom out and look at the entire cabinet, right? And that's just the Raichus, okay? Surely just in this cabinet alone, you're looking at like $3-4 million worth. Like in one cabinet, surely you're looking at close to like at least $1 million, right? Is that too much? Is that too much of a stretch? Like, is that a stretch to say? It's not so much that it's not so much that there's something funky. I don't want to be like tinfoil hat, something funky's going on. But what it suggests is that whoever owns this store or whoever is involved in this store has a bucket load of capital, right? So without jumping too far between timelines and stuff, right? Because I do want to stay on track, right? Some of the other stores here, Card Shop or Hachi, I don't know who that is. Off the top of my head, like I said, I didn't want to dive too deep into this because otherwise I wouldn't have started the stream today. Kabushiki Kaisha Cardon, that's Cardon, Vintage Card Japan, and Valuable Card Tokyo, both having ties to Yamakoma Asset Bank. Yamakoma Asset Bank, right? Remember that name. Remember that name, guys. Yamakoma Asset Bank. Hi, Light. Good to see you. It's going good. How are you going? Tokyo Fab. Haven't heard of them. Ban Happy, Roru Happy, Gun Happy, One Happy, Poker Town. Hey, they got Poker Towns in Japan as well. I haven't been there. Card Shop Starch. Haven't been there. Trading Card Lounge and Magi, right? And that's Dragon Star there, right? So this is the group of stores that were involved or had tied themselves to the JTCA. Now, as you can probably deduce, it's like I said earlier, right? It's kind of weird when a group that's now lobbying to the government in Japan, lobbying for some kind of regulations, has ties to stores that, in the instance or case of Magi, right, are known to have had a lot of scandals within the Japanese Pokemon card community online because of price manipulation, basically, right, or alleged price manipulation. And a lot of these stores sell Oripa, right, and are involved with Oripa, which a lot of Japanese Pokemon card collectors and players don't like because they feel Oripa pumps the market. It's kind of weird for a group that's going to have that enough influence to lobby to the Japanese government for some kind of regulations and legislations around trading cards, is involved in all these sketchy things, right? And so a lot of Japanese Twitter users caught onto that basically immediately, which is why I got community noted. And you'll see a lot of people are just saying, what the hell, like, who are you actually standing with? Who do you actually stand for? So we'll go through some of those so you guys can see what the hell I'm talking about. Without the participation of major game publishers like Pokemon and Konami, it won't lead to any fundamental solution. It's just a half-hearted gathering to solicit opinions and create the appearance of doing something. It's no different from doing nothing at all, right? I feel that. What's the point of partnering with a lame card shop? Your usual kickback scheme, huh? Get lost, trash. Fire emoji. So this is actually really funny how Twitter implemented the auto-translate tool, because you just get like, that you guys have seen the fucking gem alert meme, surely. You guys have seen the meme? Have you guys seen the memes? They're just like us. They're literally just like us, but in Japan. Muted. While it's one thing to say you're pushing forward with collaboration, what I want is an explanation for why you removed the participating companies that have been listed. This is actually really funny because they're talking so much about transparency. The JTCA, they talk a lot about transparency in their tweets, but then they strip and remove all those card stores, right? All right, so you guys get the general idea, right? Excuse me for chiming in from outside the thread. Shouldn't you realize that the mere fact that there's no manufacturer's name means there's no credibility? Also, card shops are self-employed businesses, right? From a common sense perspective, the Japan Trading Card Association only invites shops to join if they're resellers. So first and foremost, I think the discussion should start after the manufacturer itself has joined. So a lot of them are basically saying, yeah, we don't trust you because you guys aren't even getting involved with the major game manufacturers like Konami, Bushiroad, Bandai, and Pokemon. So why would we ever think that you're for us, right? Especially when you're partnering with all these groups that are doing all the things that we absolutely hate in the space. Oripa, price manipulation. I can see we're in a Twitch ad. We kind of want this to pass. If the right person group together, they can do lobby to make the entry rules hard to get in so they can control the market better. We're getting to the meat. We're getting to the core of all of this. We're getting to the crazy bit. Honando, I'm typing in both chats. You are, I can see that. All right, I think we're out of Twitch chat. I don't get it. Is this group backed by the government? I agree with all these people. What is the point? I think, Inza, you might have missed the start of the stream. If you guys have missed the start of the stream and you're just catching up now, I'll do a quick refresher because we have been live here for about an hour now. So I'm just going to do a quick run through for the people that have just jumped in and missed the start of the stream. Basically, if you guys popped open Twitter this morning, you may have seen a couple of articles from Dexterto or this tweet here. Excuse me, I'm a disgusting pig. There was this tweet here that went up from Unusual Whales. Japan is considering regulating the market for Pokemon cards per Bloomberg. And then Dexterto also posted, Japan is launching a government team to fight scalpers and fake cards in popular card games. So, in Polymarket, Japan moves to regulate, even 2 hours ago, this is insane. Japan moves to regulate high-value Pokemon cards as the market grows into a multi-billion-dollar asset class. So, what I spoke about at the start of the stream, they have not done anything. Nothing has happened yet, okay? So, TLDR, just shooting in, you don't want to watch anymore? No, Japan has not regulated Pokemon cards, and they're not even... they're maybe like 0.5% of their way to potentially regulating the Pokemon card market in Japan, right? It just hasn't even happened yet. It's not even close. All that's happened so far, right, is that... these are funny. All that's happened so far is that this group has emerged out of nowhere called the JTCA, right? And the Japanese Trading Card Association is a group of people that we're going to jump into in a little bit that claim to be representing and having the best interests of Pokemon card collectors in Japan in mind. And they're moving to try and legislate and influence the government to create some kind of regulations around trading cards to protect them, to protect collectors from resellers, to mitigate reselling, to mitigate peer-to-peer selling. So, you know, I own a card shop and then I sell all my cards to Joe Guyman, and then Joe Guyman does them on a rip and ship, right? Trying to mitigate the amount of counterfeit cards out there. This is the kind of stuff that they're saying that they're trying to work towards fixing in Japan, like all these issues that players and collectors have. But as we've been talking about, as the stream has been going on, what they're saying they're trying to do and who they are saying they represent contradicts and is at odds with the people involved in the JTCA and the people backing it and the stores that they are working with and that they are supporting them and they're trying to consult with. That's the word I've been trying to find for the last like 50 minutes, right? Okay, so that's okay, Inza. It had to happen. I had to do a recap at some point because a lot of people have jumped in. Okay, so moving back to these tweets and the responses to them. Okay, we were looking at Vintage Card Tokyo or Valuable Card Tokyo, right? And you can see on this list that Vintage Card Japan and Valuable Card Tokyo have links to Yamakoma Asset Bank. Now, I was watching, what's his name? Kuzumachi's video here. Because Kuzumachi, if you guys don't know, he often just, this is like a I'm not even subscribed. Am I subscribed? I am. I'm not joined. Holy shit. Kuzumachi's got 240,000 subscribers now. That's crazy. Remember when this channel just started? Kuzumachi just opens up bucket loads and bucket loads and bucket loads of cards. So it's just a channel that opens up like mass card openings, right? That's all it is, literally, over and over and over and over again. But Kuzumachi uploaded a video today or yesterday. When was it? Yesterday, right? Talking about, this is Butterfingers, yeah. Talking about how he felt about this situation in Japan that's happening with the JTCA, right? And in his video, he talks about Yamakoma Asset Bank. So I clicked this link trying to understand, like, who's Yamakoma Asset Bank? And I ended up at this page, which is an article published by Zen and Zen Group and Zen Plus, which are companies that you may have heard of. And I've even I did work ages ago. I actually did a sponsored video with Zen Market, like, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago, like 2023 or 2024. I can't even remember, right? You learn something new every day. I didn't know this, right? But Yamakoma Asset Bank. So this is a group that, and this is at Vintage Card Japan, right? This is a group. I'll pop the article into English for you guys to read, right? And you'll learn about them. Aiming to establish a culture of authentication both domestically and internationally, Yamakoma Asset Bank Co. Limited, the world's largest provider of authenticated trading cards, introduces the cross-border e-commerce platform Zen Plus 2024. All right. So, leave it to the experts. We want to entrust Zen Plus with all... Actually, this is kind of cool. I didn't know this. Tis a moment, right? I'm going back. Mochiwa. I'd never heard of this term before. Mochiwa. Basically means if you want mochi, go to a mochi store, right? Which is a proverb that basically means leave it to the experts, essentially, right? Like, if you want the best, go to the best. Leave it to the expert. You don't. I guess what's the way to say that? I guess it's really weird translating Japanese proverbs into English. It makes sense. Like, if you want mochi, go to the mochi store. Right? Like, if you want to build a house, you don't go and speak to a fisherman, is the kind of thing it means. So I'd never seen that term. I just thought it was really cool. Sorry, Tism taking over. Leave it to the experts. We want to entrust Zen Plus with all aspects of our overseas expansion, says Mr. Yamaguchi of Yamakoma Asset Bank, the world's largest provider of authenticated trading cards. Yamakoma Asset Bank offers a wide selection of products and supports customers in finding the best card at a fair price. With increasing inquiries from visitors to Japan and overseas, they have started selling on the cross-border e-commerce mall Zen Plus to focus on overseas sales. We spoke with CEO Mr. Yamaguchi. All right. So Yamaguchi-san speaks a little bit about trading cards and how they've gotten more popular. And then goes on to talk about the reason behind adopting Zen Plus. And then talks a little bit about ARS as well, which I'm still trying to properly understand the link between all of this and ARS, which I'm sure well, if you guys don't know, ARS grading. Have you guys seen ARS grading slabs? Anybody here? Anybody in the class not seen ARS grading slabs? ARS puts grade on the back. It's stupid. Oh, they're the ones behind Zen Plus. And they don't count centering. Ah, I see. They want to promote authentication of cards of which they own. Sharko, you're switched on, buddy. Surely, even I know them. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure most people have seen ARS slabs before, right? They're nice, right? Just another grading card company. A card grading company, I should say. All right. I found this quite interesting. Could you tell us about the characteristics of Yamakoma Asset Bank? Yamakoma Asset Bank is the world's largest store for vintage trading cards. We primarily stock cards from the early days of trading cards around the year 2000. Cards that are already out of print and even newer cards that are 14 to 15 years old. With a grading rate exceeding 20%, we place great importance on the culture of trading card grading. In particular, we handle a large number of cards that have undergone ARS grading, Japan's first grading service. So earlier I was talking about how the JTCA wants to ensure that Japan reaps the benefits of trading cards exploding in popularity around the world. That's not just them saying they want to benefit from what's happening in Japan. They're saying because these card games originated in Japan, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, One Piece, they want Japan to capitalize on that and make the most amount of money from that as possible, to be the center, to be the hub of trading cards across the entire world. My personal feelings or opinion here is that this group doesn't like, this is like my zoomed forward and then like super hot take, right, on the situation so far, is that I think these guys don't like that PSA is like the standard, that what PSA does sets the standard for trading cards, even in Japan. Even though PSA have a grading location in Japan, right? They're saying that because Japanese Pokemon cards in general, originate in Japan, that Japan should be the world leader and that the grading service leader should be ARS, right? And so it's almost like this is their way of trying to make that happen, to start that, right? Which seems like insane, right? Think about it. How can any grading company take the crown from PSA? Whether you like PSA or not, it's undisputed. PSA is the king of the whole grading sphere, right? It is. Like, you can not like PSA, but then you can also recognize that PSA is the king. They're the leader. Well, I guess you should say they're the market leader. They are the leader in grading. PSA doesn't give up about your feelings. They are king. Deal with it. Yeah, sadly, they are market leader. Guess 5743. He's liking what I'm cooking up. They also own two large companies as well. Well, yeah, it's a monopoly at this point because they own BGS and what's the other one? SGA, the sports, SGC. Don't they own another one now? They bought someone else. No, they bought they bought BGS, SGC. Who else do they own? Tag shills in shambles right now. You can like Tag, you can like all these different grading companies, but whether you like them or not, you can't deny PSA dominate, right? So this little tidbit here, we place great importance on the culture of trading card grading. In particular, we handle a large number of cards that have undergone ARS grading, Japan's first grading service. We have a unique selection that cannot be found in Nipponbashi or Akihabara, and while we have one of the largest selections in the world, we attract customers from both within Japan and overseas. So, this little bit here is interesting. I've received requests to purchase items via Yahoo Auctions direct messages and Twitter for some time now. When I actually sold to overseas customers, I found that handling international money transfers was quite difficult. Leveraging ARS's high popularity cap and the convenience of Zen Plus, we aim to differentiate ourselves in the trading card market, not only domestically, but also internationally. We want to utilize Zen Plus to leverage our strengths and expertise while establishing a competitive advantage in the global market. The reason we adopted Zen Plus is to expand our overseas sales channels. By implementing Zen Plus, we want to entrust the overseas sale process to them and ensure a smooth handling of everything, including payment procedures. So I found it really interesting that this guy was like, hang on a second, why am I buying these cards in Japan for these people on Twitter so that these people on Twitter, who I don't even know, which are most likely card stores, vendors, or people just trying to make a quick buck or a quick lot of bucks off of card grading. Why the hell am I buying and exporting Japan stock so these guys can make all the fucking money? Why don't I just keep the stock, keep the cards myself here, buy them up with all the capital I've got, grade them through ARS, right? Pump up ARS, yeah? And then they can buy they can buy our cards. They can buy the ARS graded cards with the premium on them. And I will make the money. We will make the money here. Basically, submit to ARS and we'll pump in Japan soon. Trust me. So it's important to note that this is from 2024. So this was a few years ago that this guy, who I just don't want to get his name wrong, Mr. Yamaguchi-san, right? The CEO of Yamakoma Asset Bank is trying to build and grow ARS and also export these cards internationally rather than the current situation we have now, which I've spoken about on my channel. Yeah, it's the CEO of Sex. The current situation that we have now, which is international speculators and card flippers, ripper shippers, whatever, go to Japan, buy up all the stock, take it home, either grade it and sell it or flip it on live sell services and make a fucking fuck ton, right? That's why with the... Sorry, guys. That's why this, right, combined with what you see in this card store, which is Valuable Card Tokyo, which has links to Yamakoma Asset Bank, right, and Vintage Card Japan, which you guys can even see there, right? Right? You feel me? Explains why you see so many no rarity cards in the one cabinet. It's highly likely that all the cards that they were originally selling, that, you know, this guy was going on Twitter and selling to people that were DMing him on Twitter, right? Instead of him selling them to them now, he's probably just gone, and this group have gone, why the hell are we doing that? Let's just open a card store, because Valuable Card Tokyo hasn't always been there. This store wasn't there. I feel like this store only recently opened up last year in 2025 or like late 2024. So this store hasn't been there for a very long time. It only just popped up around about the same time this Yamakoma Asset Bank group established itself, right? So why does all that matter in the context of this JTCA situation or this, you know, group emerging, right? All right, well, like I said, this guy, Yamaguchi-san, he's got ties to Valuable Card Tokyo, and what was the other store? We've got it here. Vintage Card Japan, right? All right, well, the plot thickens because if we go to some of these other tweets, right, and we'll pull them up. I'm all over the place with my tweets. Now my tabs, they've gone crazy style. You know where we'll go? Here, right? Because it's in his video. There he is, Yamaguchi, right? This is Yamaguchi-san, right? The CEO of Yamakoma Asset Bank. Trust me, I can read Japanese, right? That's him there. So this is him as a representative of JTCA. This group here, or this page here, are the representatives or the members of the JTCA. And now it's the CEO of Sex himself, right? And now this list of CEOs or people involved in the project has been removed from the JTCA website. So if I go to their website, right, you just can't find it. It's not here anymore, right? I'll translate it to English for you guys. It's just gone. Yeah, it's super sus, right? Association overview, list of officers. No, they did leave it. I'm so sorry. I fake newsed you. They put it back. Well, there you go. It was, apparently at some point, it was removed, but they've put it back here, right? Yuji Yamaguchi, representative director of Yamakoma Asset Bank, is one of the directors of JTCA. Okay, now, bear with me, okay? We're going to get an ad break. I dismissed 3 ads. I can't dismiss the ads no more. I'm so sorry, chat. Here we go. This was the one I was looking for. I'm going to wait for the ad to pass. The CEO of Sex is a meme. Mac, I can confirm that the name is correctly read. Thank you. We're going to wait for the ad to pass. We got 2 minutes of ads. Look, guys, what's up? What do you guys think? Okay, what do you guys think so far? What do you guys think so far? What's your vibe on all this? Is it confusing? Because it is. I wanted to go live and talk about it and kind of like dismantle it and try and untangle it with you guys. It is confusing, isn't it? The more and more I read about it and the more I think about it, it definitely needs a video. Like, I think it needs like a proper video. But I wanted to talk about this like very quickly. I wanted to like get onto it like ASAP because I thought it was crazy and I thought it would be a fun thing to talk about on the chat. It's confusing for me. It is, isn't it? It's a lot of like, it's just a lot of stuff that's not passing the vibe check. Yeah, I don't see how everything connects, but it's clear that something sus is going on, isn't it? It's like, it's definitely a weird one. I'm very confused, but I am certain of one thing and one thing only. This can only be bad for everyone who isn't a shareholder of theirs. Totally agree with you. It's definitely sus. It's just super, super, super sus. I think it's a little confusing, but I can easily see it. Has there been any more news on Ryan's offer of also doing eBay CEO duties for free? I haven't followed up since hearing that. Was that the wasn't that the CEO of GameStop trying to buy eBay or the other way around? I'm more worried about how these streamers are getting 30th product. Fucking hell, man. Who even knows anymore? It's taken a lot of the wind out of it. Has anybody made a video of or like discussing how PSA does the slab buyback thing and then sells them on eBay, and then the whole PSA buyback GameStop power pack thing? Has anybody done a deep dive video of that? The scamiest thing they could push is for cards to be authenticated by local companies to be sold, increasing the card price. They would push the whole to protect customers while really just making more money. Yeah, somebody needs to make a deep dive on that, like ASAP. I'm surprised nobody has made a deep dive on that. Whenever someone with capital claims to look out for the working class collector, 100% chance of lies. I fuck with it. I agree with you 100%. You should JLUV. I've thought about it. It's I mean, as you can see, these are really tough things because look, I was just like, real talk, hashtag real talk. But like, to digress from this whole JTCA situation, right? I've always really struggled with these things when they happen. Personally, I don't know how to tackle them because when I see this, I'm like, oh, dude, I need to understand everything before I talk about this, right? And I'm like, this needs to be a video, like 100%. But the issue with that is because the internet and the world moves so fast, right? And news and trends change so quickly, right? You end up in these situations where, you get this, right? you end up in these situations where they just say Japan moves to regulate high value Pokemon cards as the market grows into multi-billion-dollar asset class. Like, you get the fucking headline, and then people will just go, "Oh, well, that's just how it is," right? You don't get the full story. You just get Pokemon is considering regulating the booming the booming trading card market. Japan is considering regulating the market for Pokemon cards. Japan is launching a government team to fight scalpers and fake cards in popular card games. Like, you don't actually get the story. You just get that. And then that becomes it. And then like us in our little space, our community here, right? Our little pocket, #community. It just doesn't reach, you know what I mean? Because it's just us talking about it in our group. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, of course, naturally the first thing I do when I see this is, okay, we're going to talk about this on the stream today. But I want to do like these deep dives, but they just take time. They just take so long to make. And it feels like by the time the work's done and the investigation's done and the video's done, so much time has passed that nobody cares anymore. And even if you've told the actual true story and you've gotten the true story out and you've done the hard work, I have the feeling in the back of my head being like, no, at the end of the day, people only care about this. They just see Japan regulating the market, Pokemon cards at the end. So it's a tough one. And it's why I haven't made, it's your boy Charizard, it's why I haven't made a video talking about the whole PSA buyback thing, because I need to like sit and commit like, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks into investigating it and getting the whole story straight, and then script a video, record it, edit it. It takes time, but it's definitely something that's worth doing. So I've thought about how much I want to do that kind of stuff. But I guess if I'm going to do any of those first, it's going to be this. And that's why I'm trying to untangle this web today, with you guys. Cause I'm also like conscious, bro. I don't want to like rob you guys of knowing about this stuff. Like, you guys come to the stream to hang out and like talk about Pokemon cards, right? And understand what's going on. Like, it's not right for me to just gatekeep this just because I haven't worked out how to articulate it perfectly in a format that's like super easy to understand. So, that's why I'm like, yeah, we'll do a stream about it, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to do like a proper deep dive investigation. But I thought you guys, being my core audience, right? And the people that come and want to hang out basically here deserve to see this stuff. This is what you come for, so I should give it to you, basically. Why does a possum bud have so much beef with you? Also, hi, hello, nice to meet you. I don't know, man. You have to ask him, but he'll just explain it, and then that's it. I don't know, man. He's not a very happy guy. One day he just stopped talking to me. Difference of opinion, that was about it. It happened around about the time the X-ray stuff happened with all the CT scanning of Pokemon card boxes. He didn't like that. I thought that the idea of it was cool, because I still do think the idea of being able to scan a box of Pokemon cards and see what cards are inside, I think that's like conceptually cool. And he didn't like that. I thought that was cool. And then he just doesn't, that's it. Ever since then, he's just off me. But what can you do? Not everyone likes you. Got to move on. I did think that was really weird for a long time. And then I had a kid, and my kid is like the coolest guy ever. And as long as he likes me, I really don't care about anything anymore. That's basically it. I'm just like, yeah, well, if he likes me, that's enough. My fucking girlfriend can hate me for all I care. Well, I obviously would not like that. I love it very deeply. I hope she doesn't hate me. But as long as he liked me, I'd be chill. She could hate me and I'd be like, fuck. But as long as he liked me, I'd be like, my number one guy. Your kid will like you until puberty starts? Nah. Nah, I never hated my dad. I love my dad. So he won't, like, I'm not a fucking asshole to him. I'm sure he's not gonna hate me. The worst thing I do is I'm like, dude, that's enough Bluey for the day after like 20 minutes of Bluey. It had something to do with eBay. Yeah, I don't think he liked that I did a little bit of work with eBay either. Fucking hell, can't do anything anymore. Can't do shit. Can't go and learn about what's happening in a new space. It happens. Hey man, I like you. Thank you, man. I really liked the work that I did with eBay. That was good because when it started, it wasn't so much about live selling. But then when it became about live selling, the work that we were doing together, I was like, I don't like live selling that much, but I guess this is like an opportunity for me to have some influence around the live selling space and kind of shift it into a way that I think is sustainable basically for the space. And I got to do that with a small, or like a now very large community in Australia, which is Drop Zone, which is a Discord server where you basically get heads up when products drop. And then against scalping and against botting, that whole situation is quite murky. And Drop Zone, what they do now is different to what they did when I started hanging out with them and working with them, but I digress. I like that I was able to like get in front of their audience and do a video with Drop Zone and try and talk about what I like about Pokemon cards rather than it just be like a full fucking like live selling is the best, blah, blah, blah. I love live selling. Let's make money. But they went in a different direction. And that's totally fine. So it is what it is. Are we back from the ad break? I think it's your boy Charizard's like, move on, buddy. Get on with it. I don't hate Bluey, but too much screen time for this guy is not good. So we don't let him watch too much TV. All right. So quick recap, JTCA, right? New group claiming to be for the community, for the players, for the Pokemon card collectors in Japan, actually involved with a lot of card stores that have a checkered history, I should say, like Magi, who do a lot of Oripa and have done a lot of price manipulation or been accused of a lot of price manipulation in the past. Stores like Vintage Card Japan and Valuable Card Tokyo, which have war chests, basically, of Japanese vintage cards. What you're looking at is no rarity. No, that's not no rarity, but this is no rarity. What you're looking at is a wall of no rarity cards that have been accumulated by Valuable Card Tokyo. Valuable Card Tokyo is linked to Yamakoma Asset Bank, which is a group that is trying to promote the sale of Japanese Pokemon cards from Japan to the rest of the world through Zen Plus and Yamakoma Asset Bank, which are kind of becoming like a haven or stockpiler of high valued raw and vintage cards. And a lot of their inventory consists of cards that have been graded with ARS, which is Japan's grading company. And Yamaguchi-san has alleged links to ARS, if I can find the tweet. So this guy pointed out ARS is a domestic TCG authentication service. The operating company of ARS is AR Sales Co. Limited. Representative Mizuno is the co-representative of AR Sales, deleted from the official homepage. You revealed your true identity. So this is what got deleted. Interesting. Is it? Well, let's have a look. This is a screenshot from Minon on Twitter showing directors or representatives or a member, which is Mizuno, right? Representative Mizuno is the co-representative of AR Sales. Mizuno Shiga AR Sales called. Okay, and then if we go back to the JTCA website, that's Yamakoma Asset Bank's website. By the way, I looked up this website and I was like, what do they do? That's it. It's just a page. It's literally just a page. So I don't know what's going on there. Where is the JTCA? Okay, we go back to Kyokage ni Tsuite. Ah, there you go. Okay. No, he is there. So why'd they say that he was removed? This is what I mean. Like, you can't jump the gun. There's just weird stuff going on. Let's do this. Man, I keep losing the JTCA page. So they must have taken it down and then added it back on. But they removed this guy, which is the guy from Hachi. Kabushiki Kaisha Hachi. Daigyo, I can't read that. I think that's the Amazon guy. Give me a second. So it's not actually the Magi assassin or the JTCA. It's actually my son. He was with Nonna, but he's come home. Nah, he can. He won't be in the stream, but yeah. Why don't you come say hello? Well, I won't put you on the screen. You say hello. No, don't put him on. Don't put him on. You can. They can hear him. Okay. Yeah, because that's the stream. Yeah, that's the stream. You want to come up? Okay. No, you can't come up. You can say hello. Do you want to say hello? Yeah, you're talking to it. You say hello.
Say hello.
Say hello.
He's not sure.
Why'd you say, what doing? Yeah. Can you say atama?
Atama.
Can you say mimi?
Hello.
Yeah, you can say hello. Why'd you say what doing?
It's coffee.
That is my coffee.
This is Nonna.
That is Nonna. Yeah. Where's mummy?
Not here.
She's not here. Is she at football?
Yes.
Yeah, she's at football.
Yes.
And what doing? Can you see the sky? Is that Lola?
That's it.
That's Lola. He's done. Alright, he's had his fun. I don't know if you guys could hear him. He's so talkative these days. Yeah, Nonna brought... So, usually Sigma hangs out with Nonna on Fridays, but I was like, oh, bring him home. It is 3 o'clock. I didn't realize. I was like, bring him home early because he's getting a little bit... He wants to hang out at home. So, you could hear him? Yeah, he's so funny. This is a different JLUV. He's mini JLUV. Isn't his voice... He's so... I mean, we're biased because we're his parents, but his voice is just so cute. He is so fucking cool. He's riding on his little quad bike now. What a legend. And what the did I miss? I'm getting FOMO. You just have to catch the recap. There's quite a lot going on. I have recapped for people that have come in a bit, but I can't do another recap for you. You'll have to watch the VOD or the clip that goes up on the apps channel. By the way, quick heads up to everybody here. So if you're watching at YouTube, I'm going to send you this, right? If you're watching at YouTube, check out the Yaps channel, which is here. And all of the streams. Somebody said, do I run the OKJLUV streams channel? And it's true. Yes, I do. I run the OKJLUV streams channel. Check out the OKJLUV streams channel as well. You can catch all the VODs of the Twitch streams. They all go up there about a day or two after. And JLUV Yaps is where like clips and highlights from the stream go up as like quick, concise videos, which this will probably go up as for you guys. And while we're doing little shout outs, let's just give a shout out to Poker Card Talk, which is the podcast that is run by Poker Guardian, Primal Lugia's headmaster, or Primal Lugia, the headmaster of Poker Guardian, that I also star in with him. It's called Poker Card Talk. It's our podcast that's been on hiatus for a good few months, but it will come back. So just a quick few links for you guys over at YouTube. But if you want to see more of the streams, which are happening a lot, they're all over here. Twitch.tv/OKJLUV. Yeah, you guys missed Baldy. He came onto the stream. Ziddy10 calls my son Baldy because he's a child that literally has not grown hair. So for some reason he calls him Baldy, which is actually not fair. Okay, so moving back to this JTCA stuff, there's obviously some funny business going on that has a lot of Japanese Pokemon card fans kind of like sus on the whole situation, but I don't fully understand and grasp the situation myself. There's clearly like a little bit more or a lot more investigation that needs to happen. I don't know who this representative is here that's related to this card store, supposedly, which is Card Shop Hachi. I don't know a whole lot about Card Shop Hachi, right? But if I was to go to their, well, they call it Hatti, Card Hatti, Card Hut. He actually has a lot of hair. Hachi, Card Shop Hachi. Yeah, see, I don't know what the vibe is on this store. 17,000 followers, but I've never been there. Where are they? From Nampa? They're in Osaka? I've never been there. There you go. Must be new. Is it new? I don't know. Joined February 2023. Maybe I just never went there. They're in Osaka. They are. Are they in Nipponbashi? It says they're a 2-minute walk from Number Station. Are you coming back? You come back. Now you're just standing in here. All right, well, he's in the room. You're gonna hear Sigma. There's nothing you can do about it. He's probably confused and trying to understand who I'm talking to. So there is a weird web here. Okay, go get a drink. There is a weird web here, right? Because the people that are involved with this JTCA have links, as you've seen, Yamakoma Asset Bank, this Yamaguchi CEO guy, to Card Shop, Valuable Card Shop Tokyo, have like basically a war chest of Japanese Pokemon cards and very expensive ones. On the record, having said that in the past they used to buy for international audiences or international people that contacted them on Twitter, but now are deciding to do that themselves, to buy the cards, grade them, have essentially grade them within ARS and then use that as like a war chest to be like, if you want these cards, you have to buy the ARS graded cards. So there's weird links there. There's links to then him and this other guy that apparently was deleted from the website but wasn't, according to this. And then all of it presented, right? Because everyone's saying like, I don't get it. Like, why is this actually a problem? All of it kind of presented as for the community. So this graphic that they put up on their Twitter, I can just hear Sigma going absolutely crazy, right? By the way, thank you for the follow, Swarovski Onyx. That's a cool username, actually. I quite like that. This user here, this tweet here is basically an infographic that the JTCA put up saying things like problems and issues plaguing the trading card world and marketplace that they want to fix, right? So in this yellow box, you see stuff to do with like the flow and distribution of products and the actual marketplace. Shijo Nyutsu, so Tenbaya, which is resellers, Kaifume, which is buying up stock, Shinousu, which is like lack of stock or stock shortages. And the really interesting one is this last one, which is peer-to-peer selling. And so that was what I was talking about earlier, about how it's like if I was getting supply directly from TPCI, right? And then I was selling the Pokemon cards to my buddy. And like we were just making, or like I wasn't actually selling them in the store. I was using them for rip and ships, right? And making more than making more than the MSRP on them because I was taking advantage of my supply, right? This green box talks about how they want to work to create, you know, Anshin is the words that they're using in this box here. Anshin, Anzen no trading card shijo. So they're trying to create like a safe and secure trading card marketplace and like economy in Japan. That's what they're saying that they're working towards, right? In the green box, they're talking about getting on top of counterfeit cards, right? Or aggravated burglary. And you've seen like a lot of card stores get broken into in Japan, right? And then the purple box talks about, and this one I found actually quite interesting, which is transparency in the marketplace. So they actually talk about how they want there to be transparency in how card products or like merchandise and supply reaches card stores and then is sold so that it's clear where the products are actually going. Because right now we have this big issue where there are card stores in Japan that get a lot of product, right? And then they don't actually sell it. And then we're also at the same time seeing rip and shippers or people overseas, like obviously like card stores. Like now, this is really awkward one. I'm not going to go on the record and say any names of specific stores, but there are really big stores in the West and in America specifically that somehow get a lot of supply of Pokemon cards. And when new sets come out, they have them very early and they are selling lots and lots of boxes. And they're very often selling them at, 3 to 4 to 5 times retail, depending on the set and how much hype there is. So that's always been this really weird thing where it's like, how are they getting so much stock? Like, it's not like they're getting, I think my mother-in-law just left, which is possible. I said I would maybe need like 10 or 20 minutes, but that's fine. Sigma's pretty chill. it's always been really weird because it's like, how are they getting so much stock? Like, how can an international store have so many Japanese Pokemon card boxes, cases and cases of them, but they're not actually based in Japan? And we know the Japanese Pokemon cards aren't for sale outside of Japan per, the terms of the distributor. This purple box is this JTCA saying they're trying to work towards getting closer to more transparency so that everybody can see and understand the flow and distribution of product. So these are all fantastic things, right? Because a lot of people, like when I'm saying this earlier, right? When you see those headlines saying that they're moving to regulate the Pokemon card space and stop scalpers and stop counterfeit cards, those are all fundamentally really good things that we need to be working towards that would benefit the hobby entirely, right? And that's what the JTCA here are presenting and saying that they are doing when they are going and literally getting in front of Japanese Parliament and the Diet and saying, because they presented to them yesterday, this all happened really, really quickly. These are all fantastic things, right? But them saying that when they have so many ties, right, to all these really sus card stores, like you're seeing in this list, like, and I wouldn't say Dragon Star is sus, but I mean, they do a little of the Oripa, right? But I guess the good thing about Dragon Star is they don't sell booster boxes at inflated prices. But card stores like Magi, who sell booster boxes at inflated prices, card stores like Card On, as you guys saw in those tweets, selling new release sets of One Piece at market price, right? Valuable Card Tokyo that have these war chests, that have these links to ARS grading. It's hard to really trust and believe that the JTCA has the best interests of the card collecting space in mind when they have such a weird background. It's essentially like GameStop, right? And I gotta be really careful about the verbiage I use, but like GameStop don't exactly have the greatest, they don't have the greatest image, right? Or they don't have, what's the word I'm looking for? They don't have its image, right? They don't exactly have the greatest image amongst Pokemon card collectors because, when the UPC got revealed, within a day or two, they were selling it for $600, right? Which is 3 times retail, right? The whole GameStop power packs, there are people that like them, and then there are a lot of collectors that think it's not great, right? And so it's like if GameStop all of a sudden was saying, hey, we're going to create this organization that is going to protect Pokemon card collectors and players. We've got the best interests of players in mind. We've got the best interests of collectors in mind. And we're going to work to create a more sustainable and engaged community, and we're going to grow the culture of Pokemon cards together. But the people spearheading that group are GameStop, and then other really sus, companies like companies that like, it's because you don't want to fucking slander these guys, right? I'm not like out here shitting on slandering on them, right? But they have like checkered history. Like PSA have their checkered history of doing sus things, like the stuff with the lenticular Deoxys, or that guy's Pikachu that they just lost and then all of a sudden they found and they offered him a lower buyback price, right? Companies that don't have a lot of goodwill, right? That's a great word. Thank you for saying that word. It's like the Avengers decide to fucking get created around protecting Pokemon card collectors in the US, and it's being spearheaded by GameStop, PSA, BGS, and whatnot, right? There you go. And it's like, okay, they probably could do like, I don't know, 10 things that would help Pokemon card collectors, but given their history of doing really sus stuff that aren't in the interest of Pokemon card collectors, it's highly likely that if they were to get in front of the Senate or the House of Representatives in the US, or like be able to legislate or lobby, right, for Pokemon card collectors, it's highly likely that they are going to lobby in their favor in a way that they are going to benefit from. It's not certain, but it's fair speculation to say, look, it's kind of likely, or I have doubts about whether they truly have the best interest in collectors in mind, or whether they have their own interest in mind purely. So that's what this JTCA is kind of projecting for Japanese Pokemon card collectors right now. And that's why it's not as simple as this tweet from Unusual Whales that says Japan is considering regulating the market for Pokemon cards per Bloomberg, and then Nexerto saying that they are launching a government team to fight scalpers and fake cards in popular card games. Like I said, they aren't doing anything yet. This is just a group that yesterday got in front of them, presented their opinions, right? And the things that they want to change. And that's it so far. None of this has actually happened, but it's brewing. And who knows where it goes, but the people behind it have weird ties that are kind of sus. Oh, and that's kind of the long and short of it. There's a lot to sift through, and I need to go and spend a good fucking like week basically going down this rabbit hole. But I felt like it was important enough to talk about early and quickly with you guys. And so that's why I kind of wanted to untangle it all here on the stream together with you guys today. So that's where it's at. CoffeeZilla might want to check stock prices after this announcement. It may be as simple as a stock price pump and dump. Well, if we go to Rubber, can you DM me that fucking graph that we always look at that you post every day in God chat? Or can I find it? GameStop's been hated on for decades. Unfair value on games. Yeah, I mean, GameStop's reputation has not been the greatest for at least 2 decades. Which is kind of funny because in Australia, EB Games have actually had a pretty good rep for a long time. And it's only since they got into trading cards that sentiment on them really changed. And people don't think very highly of them anymore. So who was saying check? I can't see the YouTube chat, but someone was saying it may be as simple as a stock price pump and dump. We've spoken about this graph on the stream before, but it's basically an accumulation of its time versus total value or total sum of sales, and the bars you see are volume. So volume of sales, right? Aggregated from primarily Macari. So every day you see, I don't love this graph, but it's like the best we've got. Hello, Brensay, good to see you. I don't know how much of this you caught. We might have to chat because I think you're going to be, you'll be able to help me. Now it sounds like I'm coming to you for help, but you'll be fucking interested in this anyway. I'm sure you've seen all this stuff that's happened with the JTCA. But it could be quite interesting to work on this together with you if you were interested, but we can chat later. But yeah, I don't exactly love this graph, but it's kind of like the best we've got to just get a feel for what's kind of happening in the Japanese card market and space. But basically it's time versus total value of sales, some of them, with the bars being volume, right? So you can see it has not gotten close. This bull run that we're on hasn't gotten close to the 2023 high in Japan. And it's important to note that this is in Japan, right? And it's constantly changing. There's a much lower volume of sales aggregated over this period, but it's still quite high, the total value. But you can see that even though things kind of like took a bit of a downturn in the last month and a half, it's kind of like stabilized at this point here. And it was trending upwards, but now it's kind of going down. But again, this isn't the best indicator. It's just a quick glance. It's not to be taken as gospel. So I wouldn't say prices dumped, but I guess we'll see how this moves over the next like 2 to 4 weeks based on this JTCA establishing or like fucking fanfare thing that's popped up, you know? In a nutshell, big money is trying to regulate cards in Japan. It's probably the best way to put it because there are big money groups in Japan that are that have like a lot of influence, and I'm learning about some of them. And I'm trying to like show you guys how weird it is because that's really all it is. It's just very weird, and it's definitely changed my perspective on the space. And even some videos that I'm working on now, I'm like, how do I want to like make those videos now, and like how can it. Like, how can I do more with them now that I'm learning all this stuff that is so fucking, that like only really gets reported at surface level here And that was like my big issue, is like why I wanted to talk about it on the stream, is like you just see these tweets and it's like, nah, there's like way more to it than this. There is so much more to it. It's a crazy ass rabbit hole. Can't wait for the documentary. Yeah, watch this space, basically, average player. I wish GameStop would sell at Emma, but then we would have so much FOMO. I think you'd find that if a lot more stores... Oh, thank you for the follow, by the way, Master of Majors. I think you'd find that if a lot more... Welcome to the stream. If a lot more stores just sold at market, I think things would go back to normal. You wouldn't see these like crazy ass buyouts. I think a big issue with Pokemon cards right now is that LGSs want to have their cake and eat it too. Because, and I've spoken about this at length over and over and over, but basically LGSs are a flawed, like they're a flawed business model, right? Card stores, flawed business model. There's only so much money you can make from them. They're really difficult to scale. The only way to scale them is to just charge more for the product and get product at a lower price. To scale it further, you have to do really grimy things that people in the space don't necessarily like rip and shipping, selling product that you get at distributor prices at market price, stuff like that. You know, moving to singles, graded slabs, and mystery bags. Like, scaling involves dipping your toes in the fucking pool of bullshit. So a lot of card stores aren't gonna just sell at Emma anymore or MSRP because they're not going to continue making money. That only works if everybody does it at the same time, and they're just not going to do it because there's some people that are greedier than others. Who's responsible for all the Mega Dream and Inferno fakes on the market? Because I saw sus accounts coming out of Japan. That is a fucking another rabbit hole, dude. They completely ruined the market with that bad. Prismatic and Surprise 151 and Surprise 151 got me burnt once. Yeah, I mean, it got to the point in the last year or two where you can't really buy modern Japanese without running the risk of getting scammed. Like, the risk of getting scammed is way higher now than it was like 4 or 5 years ago. Even LGSs hold back products because they know it goes up later. Yeah, that's a big issue that we have. Even like we have that in Australia too. There was an LGS that got involved, got accused of doing that, and there's no exact hard proof that they did it. But it didn't look great, and they got very upset when people alleged that they did do it. Yeah, that was like kind of a weird one. I'm not gonna name the store because they kind of got all into a bit of a fucking fit about it all. But yeah, there's some sus stores that do some sus stuff. But everybody else, the reason why I feel like that stuff kind of gets a pass from the top to the bottom is because at every step of the way, somebody's getting a cut of it. You know what I mean? Like, from the top to the bottom, from the distributor to the store, like, it's crazy. And yeah, Normie, you make a great point. Not every LGS is like this. There are a lot of really good, solid LGSs out there. A lot of really good LGSs in Australia that don't do this stuff. And even in Japan, there are a lot of good card stores that don't, get involved with the whole Ripper stuff, right? But at the same time, there are a lot that do, and they kind of ruin it for the rest of them. Because then you get the general negative sentiment online that all LGSs suck. So yeah, it's a weird one. Every single brick and mortar store in Oz is sus. I wouldn't say that. Like, I've found that general games are like really solid. They always implement 1 per person limits. They sell as close as possible to retail, if not. If you go on release day, they're always 1 per person limits, and they're selling basically the lowest because you can't really get a booster box in Australia for new English sets for less than $300. It doesn't really happen. There's another really good one in Adelaide. I haven't been to, but the guy who owns it is a legend. He watches the channel, and I'm not just saying this because he watches it. But he's always hooked me up, and I know he hooks people up in Adelaide too. I wonder if he's watching. You can just shout your store out. Next stream, you know what? I owe that guy. I owe him a lot. I'll have to just go to Adelaide and make a Shin Tokyo. I'm pretty sure it is. In Adelaide, it's supposed to be legit, and at least the guy that runs it is cool. I'm pretty sure it's Shin Tokyo. Otherwise, if it's not, Shin Tokyo just got a major shout out. Hell yeah. Hello, Zombie Walk. Good to see you. Thanks for coming down. Yes, I can stop the ad. I only work with FLGSs too now for bulk orders out of Japan. Ensure players get a cheaper price based. Haven't ordered from General Games. I'm going purely off my very limited experience ordering hypermodern singles online. General Games, can't go wrong with them. I find every time I shop at General Games, I'm having a good time. They're good people. All right, guys, that's all for today's stream. As you can see, there's a lot to. I mean, I kind of like want to go and read more. You know what I mean? Because I want to be able to share more with you guys, and I want this to be easier to understand. But that's a skinny of it, and it's still hella confusing. It's hella confusing, but you can see there's just a lot going on. It's a crazy, crazy ass web to untangle. But hopefully I'll be able to share more with you very, very soon. No tier list stream, unfortunately. No. So the tier list stream is going to be moved to next week, and the black bolt white flare binder stream will continue next week as well. We had a change of plans today. If you're feeling confused, watch the VOD. Otherwise, wait for the Yaps to go up, which will be a condensed version of the stream that'll go up at the Yaps channel. If you're not yet subscribed there, go and give it a sub. Help the channel get to 1,000 subscribers. Will the video be dropping on YouTube? Delayed, reworks, and personal crisis that I had this week. But fucking fingers crossed, bro. Next week. Hey, you're here. I'll give you a sneak peek. We're almost there, bro. We're so close. I can taste it. Oh, I've got 2 really big Premiere projects open. The stream may crash. It's gonna crash. Yeah. You see this? This is the mark of progress. It's almost done. This bit, this gap here, and another little gap. Almost there, bro. It's mostly done. I promise. All right, guys. The little fella, he wants to hang out, and I think Nonna wants to go home, so I'm going to call it for today. Thank you so much for coming to hang out. Hope you learned something, even if you're left with more questions than answers. But at least you know a little bit more. Otto, I didn't even say hello to you. I saw you so early telling me off for being late. Otto, thank you so much for hanging out. It was good to see your name pop up in the chat again. Fuck. I'll message you, bro. Thank you for coming down and hanging out, though. Zanga fan. I'm dying. All right, Otto, peace out. Zanga fan, peace out. Hamagini, good to have you in the chat. Thanks for subbing. Franco, as always, I hope you're enjoying the streams, buddy. ZD, I love you. Brensei, I will hit you up. Benko, good to see you. Faith and Science, my strongest soldier. Literally my strongest soldier. Thanks for coming down. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being patient. Razdog, as always. NT Colas, just logging a nice stream. No, well, no worries, man. You do you. Lol, take care, buddy. I'll chat to you as well. Aiden DeVito, have a good one. I just got back to stream. It's ending. It's so over. That's what the VOD's for. VOD channel. Check it out. Nick Red Leader, cheers. No, thank you. Thanks for hanging out. And all the people over at YouTube, it was good to see you guys again. If you're watching this at YouTube, I'm almost back. I promise. I promise. I'm almost there. There's almost a video coming out. I swear it to you. I swear it. Genki94, thank you for coming down. Ages Official, damn, I just joined. That's how it be. I'll see you next time. Come and watch over at Twitch. If you're on YouTube, just come and watch over at Twitch. That's where we're always streaming. Guess, it was nice to have you in the... Oh, Goosus. Sorry, I kept calling you Guess. Goosus? Or Gus. Gus S, 5743. Kanto Club, your average player, thank you so much for your input and the discussions and the discourse. Bernie Brody. Take care, buddy. Norway, as always, see you in another year when I catch the next one. I'm going to do a Europe stream too. We're going to figure out what we're doing for Europe though. All right, guys, that's all for today. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I will catch you next time. Make sure to join the Discord if you haven't. Join the Discord. We're going to start running the monthly giveaways starting in August. More to come on that next week. Coming soon, TM. Peace out, little pig oink. It's always good to see you in the chat, man. Have a good one. All right. Oh. Ah, get out of the stream, you cheeky. I know you're going to take the shoes off. All right. Hang on, wait. You're going to get in the stream. Careful. You got a little glimpse of little Sigma there very quickly. He ran to the frame. He just be wondering. He just wants to show me his shoes. All right, guys. See you later. I'll catch you next time. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.